AI philosophy, enabling humans to establish destiny for themselves and establish a mind for AI. The Zhou Dynasty established a system of rites, governing the state in the way a family is managed. Confucius revolutionized the concept of rites, arguing that it should not be confined to blood ties but stem from the benevolence in one's heart. The Chinese people have faith yet no religion, and hold the way of heaven in higher regard than deities. Show reverence for ghosts and gods, but keep a distance from them. Do one's utmost in human affairs and submit to the will of heaven. Confucianism nurtures literati, Mohism fosters warriors, Taoism gives rise to hermits, the school of names breeds debaters, the Yin-Yang School produces alchemists, and Legalism trains statesmen. The school of diplomacy cultivates diplomats. Click the plus sign to follow this account for more fascinating content. In ancient China, the Zhou Dynasty formulated the patriarchal clan system of the rites of Zhou to strengthen its rule over blood-related vassal states, governing the state precisely in the way a family is managed. The rites of Zhou was an unwritten code of law. It regulated the conduct of gentlemen, nobles, through praise and blame, while restraining commoners, the populace, with punishments. Hence the saying, rights do not apply to commoners, and punishments do not befall the nobility. The essence of the rites of Zhou was that one's birth determined everything. Confucius, however, revolutionized the concept of right, maintaining that it should not be limited to blood relations, but originate from the innate goodwill of wanting to treat others well in one's heart, namely benevolence. He believed that the key to saving a society where rights collapsed and moral values degenerated was to let everyone harbor benevolence in their hearts, for then their conduct would naturally conform to rights. Meanwhile, rights could also restrict and regulate selfish desires. Abiding by rights was moral, and violating them was immoral. Before Confucius, gentlemen referred to nobles who observed the blood-based rites of Zhou and commoner to the populace. Confucius redefined these two terms, holding that a person of noble morality was a gentleman and one of vile character a commoner. Thus, Confucius innovatively shifted the judgment of one's social status from blood lineage to moral character. Confucius also believed in the existence of a supernatural force, the mandate of heaven, which he regarded as similar to the laws of nature that needed to be understood. Yet, he emphasized that the key to restoring a better world lay not in heaven, but in the rights and benevolence in every person's heart. Unlike Western religions, Confucianism does not speak of ghosts and gods, but only of the way of heaven and the mandate of heaven. Confucius said, "Do one's utmost in human affairs and submit to the will of heaven." The Chinese people attribute what is beyond human control to the will of heaven and take responsibility for what humans can do. Therefore, the Chinese have faith but no religion, and hold the Tao in higher regard than deities, show reverence for ghosts and gods but keep a distance from them. Confucius did not explore metaphysical questions, nor did he attempt to construct a philosophical system to explain the ultimate truth of the universe, i.e., he did not study fundamental questions such as what is the essence of the universe. Instead, he focused on building a stable and orderly society. Thus, Confucius was more a sociologist or political scientist than a philosopher. He cared about people's mortal life rather than the afterlife, once saying, "How can one understand death before understanding life?" The spiritual foundation of Confucian culture is ethics and morality. Benevolence means loving others, embodying moral values, rather than religion loving God, transcending moral values. Like Western philosophy, the significance of traditional Chinese culture lies not in acquiring practical knowledge, but in elevating people's spiritual realm. As for why Confucius is honored as the model teacher for all ages, in his time, there were only official schools in China, no private schools, and no one taught any subject in a private capacity. Confucius was the first person in China to found a private school, pioneering the breaking of the monopoly of official education and becoming the first national scholar teacher in Chinese history. The character Jia, school, sect, in Confucianism, also implies a private connotation. The spring and autumn and warring states periods were an era of contending hundreds of schools of thought. Confucianism nurtures literati, Mohism fosters warriors, Taoism gives rise to hermits, the school of names breeds debaters, the Yin-Yang School produces alchemists, Legalism trains statesmen and administrators, and the school of diplomacy cultivates political diplomats. I am Wu Huaiyu, a PhD from the Chinese Academy of Sciences and a postdoctoral fellow from Peking University, and the founder of AI philosophy. For more detailed information, please refer to the complete version of this book. In addition to this short video, you can also click on my avatar to view more long videos.